So, salutations.
Disclaimer.
Content is rooted and oriented in truth, grace, and love.
As you can see, we are back. I must keep it very short because so far I have about 15 minutes of footage, so I can only get at least 5 in. So with that being said, we're going to start straight off with Constantine and holidays. And with that being said, the 2 holidays that basically Constantine originated and established was the celebration of Christmas as of December 25th. Also, technically he was the first to establish Christmas also, like other than being on the 25th. He also added like not the Saturnalia, but I will add the tradition, I believe is not Yucca. Yeah, I think it is Yucca. I believe that's the, yeah. Long story short, he added those traditions into what was supposed to be the celebration of Christ's birth. I will also add, and I believe I added it prior, if not, I will add it here, as in the conversation between me and an individual based on like the interpretation of what the scriptures give for holidays being Purim and Christmas. With that being said, other than Constantine establishing Christmas, he also established what we know as Easter. I'm not sure if there was, I'm gonna do my research after. I'm not sure if there were prior like Easter celebrations going on in early Christian tradition, but we will look into it. With that being said, he established what we know as an Easter, and for that I actually made a post on IG, and I would just go off of there because that's where the Spirit cooked prior. So one moment please, one moment please. Oh yeah, and it is currently 1:12 p.m. I have 4 hours and 15 minutes to get another clip in, edit it, and then post it for you guys. So pray on behalf of that, even though you'll be hearing this after the fact, your prayers would have still mattered. So on the post is why you shouldn't celebrate Easter. I'm not sure how good you guys can see this, but I'll put it right here. I'm gonna just read through it. As a follower of Christ, you shouldn't celebrate because it's depending on what side of the spectrum of Christianity you're on the side of following what was commanded by Yeshua versus on the side of following what was commanded by men. What Yeshua commanded, follow me. What man commanded, follow me as I follow Yeshua. Following Yeshua consists of practicing what he practiced. What he practiced was Passover, as in ultimately what he replaced for the not Reformed Jews, but you get what I'm saying. What he replaced was what we were supposed to follow as Passover. So why wouldn't you practice Passover? The reason why you wouldn't is because there is a second option. Second option being following man as they follow Christ. Man being Flavius, Valerius, Constantinus. Oh yeah. Now I could flood you with the details you may already be aware of, yet I won't. Reason why is because all of it matters and at the same time doesn't, because the gist of it is what is commanded by Eloah versus man. As a pagan, why you shouldn't practice or celebrate is depending on what side of the spectrum of pagan you're on the side of being pagan to no end versus on the side of a pagan seeking Eloah. To no end Well, in the case you're in Newton, it copies Ostara, which I'm glad I was able to get the name of what I was trying to say. Constantine copy Easter, or like seeking Elua. Like in the case you're seeking Elua, it replaced Passover. The Ostara festival, as it is celebrated today, is a modern pagan holiday primarily associated with Wicca and other contemporary pagan traditions. It is based on older traditions. So even though it is a new celebration, the traditions in that celebration was prior. Nothing new under the sun, my family. Celebrated for spring equinox, but the specific name Ostara and the modern form of the celebration are relatively recent. If anything, Ostara copies Easter as Easter copies others. Long story short, it's a dishonor to the founders, if you care. On the second note, it replaced Passover, as in the celebration that Yahuwah commanded and Yeshua practiced. If you're seeking Elua, practice what is commanded and not what he mentioned not to do, as in following the ways of other nations. Gist of it being, neither should partake. And then I added Deuteronomy 12:29-32. I'll add that on the screen because I'm not off the top knowing. Because they're dishonoring either their ancestors' practices or Elua's. So yeah, that was the crux, and this is definitely not going to be under 5 minutes. 9 times out of 10, this video is going to be way longer than I intended. Maybe at least 30 minutes. I pray no longer. With that being said, we did Constantine's conversion, Christmas, Easter, Sabbath. So, like I was saying prior, as in yesterday, my main thing on it is that like the way they introduce things aren't how it is or it should be introduced. Like, say for example, I'm supposed to be following something this day, but I choose another day. Just explain it, and if your heart has a genuine reason why you want to choose another day, then just say it. Don't say or make it seem like everybody before you was not correct or false because out of nowhere you pop in the blue and say, nah, it's this day. When no, that's not how it was. And then like, I prefer to be bogged down in the details, as an individual has once said, as in, if you're gonna explain something, explain it thoroughly, like don't miss any marks on it, as in like, yeah, don't. Because then it leads people to like, it leads things. So, with that being said, I'm technically finished with Constantine. I guess now we could get into that expoundation of the verse of the day, of the other day, being in the Baruch, chapter 6, verse 3 and 4. And if I may, go to the notes, if I may. Okay, yeah, so I wrote, to allow the Spirit to expound on Baruch, we will first bring this back to what I mentioned in this video. There's a date, I'm not sure the date. Being Protestants' rejection of this book being interesting because it goes against who they claim to go against. So, yeah. I would like to actually save that for another time because I actually was going to go straight into the expoundation that the Spirit was going to use is a conversation between me and an individual on Instagram over the topics of like images, symbols, things of that nature. And he basically added that what I'm saying denies human nature. And I'm gonna just read what he said. And I do not have it in the thing. Guys, man, I've been looking for at least like 10-15 minutes. I finally found it. So basically, in his words, saying his word is the only reminder ignores. Mind you, I'm speaking about now in our age. In their age, as in the ancient church, I would say it was different, as in, and that's why I would give grace and occasion to when things are needed, but I was basically expressing to him the things that was once needed aren't. So it's like, not to stop jacking it, but you get what I'm saying. So he said, saying his word is the only reminder, ignores human nature. Symbols help us recall truths, just like the Israelites used the Ark of the Covenant, a physical object, to signify Elua's presence. Was the Ark a graven image? No, because Elua himself instructed its construction. By your logic, even the Ark would violate the second commandment, but that's clearly not the case. So my reply to it on my story was, I'm no longer conversating to prove anything with a Catholic. Last time I checked, we're supposed to deny our human nature, and bringing up what Elua instructed in the conversation, speaking about what Elua didn't instruct, is crazy, because my argument is he didn't instruct what we have now. They used it not to worship or idolize or a reminder or a representation. They used it because it was instructed, and was instructed because we couldn't handle Elua's presence. And second commandment says, make no graven image for yourselves, as in my opinion, as in with your own, in my opinion, and your own instructions. So, yeah. Oh, I'll add in the video the details that I want to add now, because it might be a little bit long if I do that. So with that being said, I got the topic done. I got one verse done in the expoundation. There's technically 2 verses in this. Well, yeah, there's technically 2 verses in this. So with that being said, let's go to the second verse. Why should I take a shortcut right there? Why should I allow the flesh to win on that part? Because technically right now, I'm not sure if I'm getting too much work done on the car, but I may do a little something and give it till tomorrow. I'm not sure. Oh, yesterday it came to mind by the help of the Spirit and obviously the Father, that when you really just look at it plain, a Roman created a religion with a Roman symbol. Wait, what on? I gotta go back to the notes. Something interesting, never seen it this way, but if you really look at it, a Roman created a distortion/religion and symboled it a Roman torture device and made it that Jews could join it. As in, he basically legalized, that was the whole gist of him legalizing Christianity, was that included legalizing and protecting those converting from Judaism, well, not Judaism as we know it, but converting from a Jew to a Catholic. And yeah, so, but we were gonna get into the verse. Let's get into the verse. And guys, family, if things are seeming a little I would like to express that I'm a little bit not in the right state of mind. As in, not life is lifing, but an individual is individualing. And I could take certain things and see past it when it comes, it ain't nothing about being scared of anybody else. It's just absolutely different, absolutely different. And then, yeah. Let's find the second verse. The second verse was Colossians chapter 2, verses 8, which reads, beware lest anyone cheat you. Beware lest anyone cheat you through philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Christ. So that's why it was a little mix up. I was reading the expoundation part of the previous verse, when in here I was supposed to give the example with the Catholic believer, and interestingly enough, now I don't have to expound because technically both verses had something to do with the expoundation. Yeah, both. Because no, not really. Scratch that. Technically, I will try to just go off the top on behalf of the expoundation of the book of Baruch, as in, like, as we see on the internet and just in general in our day-to-day lives when it comes to debates between Catholics and Protestants, it's like a game of back and forth. And as I mentioned, and I will try to add it here, as I mentioned in that video, like, when you really look at the battle between and the fight between, one, when you look at it in the big picture, it's all one thing. Two, when you look at it, it's like they're just trying to keep us in the same thing. Because I was raised Protestant, and that's another topic. With that being said, both verses down. Expoundation for both verses down. Topic down. We're basically done for today. With that being said, I'm gonna end this, download the footage, edit it, hopefully post it by 5:30 p.m. today. Then get some type of work done on the car if possible, our Heavenly Father willing. With that being said, I'll catch you guys shortly. Sayonara, saints and sinners all around yonder.